guys, welcome back to another episode of the Almost Worthwhile podcast. This is season 2 and episode 2 of this year. And I have a few special guests with me today. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, I am Shatakshi and I am a second year EC student and I am the PR and outreach head for Pepsi.
Hi everyone, I'm Shriya. I'm in my second year of CSE core and I'm the design head of Pepsi.
So this episode is specifically a Riviera episode. Riviera is an annual cultural fest that VIT holds, and as a cultural club, a literary journalistic literary club, Pepsi holds a lot of events every year in Riviera, and so it's a pretty important time for us. And so we had 3 events this year, of which 2 event coordinators. This is why I brought them on. Can you guys tell me a bit about your events?
Yeah, so I coordinated the event Wordsworth. It was a slam poetry event. So we had around 15 participants and an external judge.
And Shatakshi?
So I coordinated the event Escape the Killer. It was our premiere event and we had around 200 participants. No, I guess more than that. And we had it for 2 days and it was really busy, but yeah, it was really cool also.
And the final event was coordinated by me and another board member. It was called Game On. It was kind of a multi-game show event where we had multiple rounds with different game shows, and participants had to basically participate in all these game shows, and in the end we had 2 winners. Okay, so first things first, we have to talk about our premiere event, Escape the Curve. It was pretty crazy considering how many registrations we got.
I know, right? I mean, first of all, I did not expect it to go that high. I know this was a annual event for us, so we have done it before, and especially because I'm close with Arman, so and even Sneha, and these were the people who first conducted it offline. So when I got to know that I'll be coordinating it, it was a huge thing, because since I'd come to talk to all these seniors, Arman and Sneha, I've always heard them how much fun they had throughout the event, how much time it took them, and all about their stories on SMV's test. So I was like, okay, fine, I can somehow manage it. And then, I saw the pictures of, the event and the video. And I was like, okay, will I be able to pull this off? I was shit scared that if I'll be able to pull this off or not. But then, all of you guys were amazingly helpful. So yeah.
We pulled it off.
Yeah, we did pull it off.
One big thing I definitely want to talk about is the design of everything in this event.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
Escape
please.
the Killer
Yeah.
was the most design and prop heavy event in
Yeah.
Riviera. We had 2 rooms for Escape the Killer,
Yeah.
so both the rooms required very different props. One was office themed and the other one was dinner party themed, and the dinner party was in a very a rich person's house, so it needed all the props for that. So yeah.
Yeah, Escape the Killer was something, alright, yeah.
And the amount of hard work it took to prepare the room, because when we came to the room, we thought it would be empty, and the entire room had chairs and everything. And the first day we had Wordsworth also, so we were all divided. A few people were down at Wordsworth and we had a few people here. So removing all the chairs and making the JC work, all of that was really empowering.
Yeah.
For the first time I was like, okay, you have to do this, you don't have an option anymore. So yeah.
I feel like this Riviera was super important for us, considering 3 different things. First, we didn't have a new junior core with us. So because of what happened with club recruitments and all that, we weren't actually able to integrate the junior core properly. So we had to kind of get in volunteers on a volunteer basis, of course. And Riviera also provided some volunteers, but it was mostly our own. And there weren't so many that we were able to offload a lot of work. So in the end, a lot of the board members and the coordinators did so much work, to the point that we were probably working 12, 14 hour days, not sleeping so much. And the other 2 things are, I believe, since this is the first thing we really did as a board, and it is the biggest thing all year. Nothing really prepared. We prepared us for that. We got selected as board. We came together, had a few board meetings, and started working on this stuff. And we were like, oh my god, this is insane. And the last thing was so the new board kind of started. The new board started working on things, and the old board kind of got busy with other stuff. So we had only maybe 1 or 2 members helping out here and there. So we were completely in the dark. We were what is going on? Me and Shatakshi personally panicked a lot.
Yeah.
We would talk a lot. We're like, dude, we're like not gonna be able to pull this off. It was crazy.
And with everything going on, it was our first event together. We had not had any other event as board members. Like if we had one event prior to Riviera, to at least let us know that how each of us worked, then it would have been easier. But then we had one huge premiere event and like 3 events in which we had to conduct. And that was really numbing. And I remember ranting to Satanaka how, oh my god, I don't know we'll be able to pull this off or not. But yeah, eventually everything worked out.
For reference, Sudanaka is our ex-board member from last year. Yeah, so, and Shatakshi and Sudanaka very close. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just as an event, it was really the first thing we ever did as the board.
Yeah.
Like we were just put right into the middle of this huge event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, forget the pan. We were like straight into the boiling oil, like fire, like oh man, I'm on a panic attacks. It was crazy.
We worked 2 months straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean night shifts every day.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Yeah. Night shifts every day was man.
And especially for people like both of us, he's a 9-pointer, so like doesn't really matter. But since we had like 8 AMs every day, so like just imagine you are Sunday up till 1 and then 8 AM Monday morning, and then it's the same for the entire week. Only Saturday you get this.
Yeah, I was still working
So,
the whole day. Okay.
Yeah, okay, he was working. True, he did a brilliant job with sponsorship.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay. So Shriya, like I want to talk about like how design intensive Escape the Killer was, like compared to the other 2 events.
Yeah. Alright, so firstly we had the Instagram posters. I put in the most amount of effort on the Escape the Killer posters because it had the most number of people joining in, so I wanted to help with the publicity. So I put in the most effort for that poster, and for the props, we had to make props for both the rooms.
Yeah.
And for the office, and like all the like for the clues and stuff, we had to make every single one. But mostly for the clues, it was like printed or it was a ready-made thing, so it wasn't that hard. But what I found difficult was that I was coordinating another event, which had a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
So I was trying to balance both of that, and that was the thing that I found difficult.
Yeah.
The props as such was not very difficult because we had the junior core coming in at that time. They were inexperienced, like it was the first thing they did as the core too. But I think they did a pretty good job. They helped us out with the props and stuff. That made it a lot easier. So
yeah, like the junior core like seriously came in clutch because we were able to get them in over the last few days.
Sure.
And man, the amount of work that they did, like physical work, they did a lot. Like because towards the end we were so drained. We were like on our deathbeds. All of us were just like, oh my god, I just want to sleep. I was a walking zombie every single day. I was like, I don't want to come. I was like, guys, can I not come to night shift today, please? I was like begging them, and they're like, no, you have to come. And, obviously they would say it's fine, but still I would feel bad about not coming to night shift. But then like one thing I really tried to do as a coordinator and also finance head was try and plan everything out I do that day. So and I've made sure to plan like, okay, I'll be done by 11:30. We can go and sleep nicely and then come back the next day. Luckily, I didn't have morning classes or whatever. I don't really have to worry about attendance, so I can just kind of sit wherever I want. But still, I'll be up at like 8:30 and then I'll start working again. Okay, so besides that, for Game On, specifically for Game On, let's talk about Wordsworth and Game On. No? These were the bit smaller events that we had compared to Escape the Killer. Escape the Killer was like one of the biggest events in Riviera for sure.
With respect to design, the poster she made, like since I'm the PR head, it was like one of the most liked posts we have on like Instagram on our page. And like when I saw it, when like she sent it to me, I was like, oh my god, okay, this is so pretty. And I'm like,
let's talk about this right now. I think Shriya is like a design god.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. The wherever I see her design, it's like I want to learn Figma from her. It's just so inspiring more than anything.
I don't know how you do it, but like I'm just like, Shriya, we need a design. She was like, yeah, God. And she comes, it's like you expect, okay, she's gonna make a lot of designs in a small amount of time. All of them are amazing.
Exactly.
I don't even know how it happens. It just happens and we're like, holy, this is like the best design I've ever seen.
The board post.
Yeah, it was like, I don't even know. She pushed out 10 designs in like a few days. I'm pretty sure she's done a design in like a night, right? You've done design in
She
just one
did
night.
it in 30 minutes.
No, she saw the design process that day.
Yeah.
I spent 3 days trying to finalize the template, and once we finalized it, it was done in a few hours.
Just like done,
Yeah,
wrapped.
done.
And I'm telling you guys, okay, see, for us, some of the work we have to do is like mostly on our own. Design is a lot of it to design. Like I feel like you need a team to like offload work here and there. Like okay, you do this and do this, and so it's like over 3 days maybe you can push her 3 days. Shriya will do 3 in 1 day.
Yeah, and that is how she does work. Because like every day blog goes
Yeah.
up, right? And like she's always ready with it. That's the best part.
It's never like she's like, yeah, I need like a break.
Break.
No, she's
I
like,
have
I'll finish it. She's
never
like, okay.
seen her asking for a break. Like literally never.
Like I make it a point to be like, Shriya, your designs are absolutely insane. I make it so that I hope everybody knows that. Like, please, guys, her designs are crazy.
True.
Yeah.
It's very sweet, guys. So like for Riviera, the work that I had had classes in the morning. So right after class, I will go and design the poster that I have next,
Uh-huh.
and I will take a nap, and I will wake up with night slip, and then come back and sleep again, and the next day the same routine. So it was like we had 3 events, right?
Yeah.
I spent 2 days on each grid. We had 3 posters
Yeah.
for each event. So I spent 2 days on one event. So it was like this cycle for one whole week.
So we put out like what? I'd say maybe 12 posters or something out, like 3 grids
Yeah.
for the 3 events and for Riviera for Pepsi itself.
Yeah.
All on her own.
Yes.
By the way, guys, all on her own. 'cause
And trust me, she is absolutely amazing. Like
they're all great. Like I was like, okay, it's gonna be like all right. Like there's no way we can expect, and they're all like, everybody's like, what is going on? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one like completely surprised because I've used Figma before and I made posters. I'm terrible at design. I just know how to use the like Figma because I worked hard on it. I'm just like, what is going on? Like how are these posters just flying out like regularly and they look amazing? I don't know. It's true testament like your hard work for sure.
the best part is none of our poster is ordinary. You know,
Mhm.
there's so much
Detail.
going on in that
Yeah.
post. Like I don't want to compare, but like when you see the other post, it's like just the name of the event
Yeah.
and like the where it is
Yeah.
happening and everything. But the post we put up had actually so much essence of what was actually
Mhm.
gonna happen in that event.
Yeah.
Like for Escape the Killer, there was blood,
Yeah.
and there was
A crime
knife,
scene.
crime scene.
Yeah.
And for Game On, there was Spin the Wheel
Yeah.
and like different rounds written on
Yeah.
those wheels. For Verse where there was a pen. So like I mean, there was so much detail put in, so that even if you don't read the description,
Yeah.
just by looking at
Looking
the
at it.
poster, you would understand the whole point of the event. And I think achieving that is like a huge deal.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can make a normal poster,
Poster.
just write the name and anything. But like then actually, putting it in your brain that okay, this is what's gonna happen in the
Mhm.
event. That she pulled off so cool.
Attention to details is off the charts. Okay, enough Shriya praising. that segment of the podcast is done. Okay, so about Game On and Wordsworth, I think the most difficult we had wasn't the event in particular, but doing both our jobs at the same time. So for Shriya, we've talked about design and Wordsworth. For me, it was doing the finance of the club. So for Riviera, we always during our events and these fests, we have a sponsor because we usually have events with prize money. Or like the amount of props we need or something we need usually needs quite a lot of money. So then I was the new finance head and I was kind of put into the fire like, okay, you guys, you need to get a sponsor. Like this is your first job, this is the biggest job you have all year, get it done. So I'm just like, okay then.
Yes.
So I start like looking for sponsors and I'm trying to understand like how this goes. Then I kind of get a bright idea. I'm just like, why not go for a big fish, right? Why not? Like, what are we gonna lose? Because we kind of had our old sponsor 2IM from last fest, Gravitas. They worked with us before, and they expressed a want to work with us again. But I was like, let's make our events massive. And in essence, it did come in clutch for Escape the Killer, considering how many participants were there. I did want to make it so that it'll be a good event, and I feel like that will be like the nice icing on the cake. So I was like, let's go to meet people from HP. So through somebody I knew, I went and met somebody in Chennai. I had to do a business trip, guys. Like, my first thing, I was like, okay, put the tie on and like go on a business trip. So then I was kind of like, okay, no, forget the presentation. I'm not gonna make a presentation. I'm just gonna use my words. So I go meet them, and they're like, okay, I don't have much time. Talk to me quickly. So then I pitch it, and they're like, okay, we want this and that, and I'm like, how do we provide this? They're asking us 40 times the thing we can expect. We're expecting around totally maybe like 500 to 1,000 participants. That's how much recognition we can get. So for a small brand, that's amazing. But for a big brand like HP, they're like, no, we need like 50,000 people. So I'm just like, how do we do that? Coincidentally, Riviera has stalls. Stalls in which everybody passes through and they kind of keep it in a particular spot. You can kind of choose the spot you want. So I was able to like be the intermediate between between Riviera and HP, and we were able to settle on an amount. And the amount was crazy. I won't lie. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sound a bit insane pitching this, but they were like, if you can do this for us, we will do this for you. So I was like, okay, I need to do one insane thing to get the other insane thing done. So at this point, I'm speaking to like 4 like massively important HP people. I don't want to disclose their names. So I'm speaking to them and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like 19, I'm like a college student. I'm speaking to these really important people. And they're like listening to me and I'm like, okay, let's get this done. So then finally I'm put forward to somebody from Delhi, like a marketing person. And they're like, yeah, these are our requirements. Do this for us. So then I'm guessing HP was like, they're kind of our POC, even though Riviera is actually supposed to provide a POC for every sponsor and every stall handler. So, but I was acting as the POC. So I'm like getting all the documents out on this side. I'm trying to negotiate something on this side. I'm trying to like keep them connected. So, and then all this time I'm trying to get the game on done, like our event done. So I'm going insane. Every day I send mails out, talk to people for a couple hours, message people, and I'm just waiting for an answer. I'm waiting for that yes. So we have something called a memorandum of understanding. It's kind of like a legal document where you sign, say we have an understanding where we have a partnership, and there's something called deliverables where you write on what you want to deliver, provide. And so I'm getting those documents ready. I'm writing everything down, getting all the particulars ready, submitting it to Riviera. But all this time, it was not actually finalized. Our events, Riviera started on February 23rd. Guys, I got it sorted on February 22nd. and I don't mean like February 22nd. I got it sorted by February 22nd at 10 o'clock in the night. Because I'm telling you guys, it is very difficult to do these things. Everybody is very, I think, aware. Like when I showed up, I was like very stressed out face, not very happy looking. And I'm just like sitting there like, okay, what do I do? Because some of the times when I was negotiating with them, like what kind of a deal you could get, sometimes the deal would go awry, or they would ask for something I cannot provide, or they would just say flat out no. And it was at the point where I was like, okay, the last few days, and the last answer I got was a yes, and I'm like celebrating. I'm like, let's go. But I didn't get it on writing, and suddenly I got a message saying they said no.
Oh, okay. When
and
did
so
happen?
this nobody knew about. Only me. I got the message. This was doing a night slip. I get up and I walk to the side. I'm like, Tarun, I need to talk to you. This is like 3 days or 2 days before. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? I'm staying calm, but I'm like trying to look for a path out. And if I can't see a path out, that means this whole fest is washed. Everything is sits on my shoulder. I'm like, okay, game on will get done. All the events will get done. How do I get my job done? So I speak to Tarun, like, okay, we have these options, but in the case we can't get it done, we're gonna have to do something about it after Riviera, and that's gonna be very difficult. So I'm just like, okay, this is a do or die situation. Either I get it done or I don't. So I'm like, forget the die situation. I'm getting it done. That's it. There's no ifs and buts. I'm getting it done. Somehow, some way, maybe some luck came in and I said the right things. And okay, I did say something very, I'm not going to talk about it, but there's something that kind of lit a light bulb in their head, and they're like, okay, we'll do it. And what the great part is, we got it sorted, and there was a lot of more hiccups with like documents, but I was able to get that sorted. And post Riviera, the marketing person came from Delhi all the way here. They were at like a meeting somewhere close, and they came here. They spoke to me personally, and they were like, we had a really good time working with you guys, and if you have another opportunity coming on in August or September, we'd love to work with you again. And that's the exact time we have Gravitas, our tech fest. And I was like, that's good. And that's exactly why I remember telling these people, but I'm going to do a good job with these guys. We're going to have a good events so that they like us, and they're going to come back and be like, yes, we want to work with you again. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, that's basically finance. Yeah, can you Wordsworth? Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So for Wordsworth, like I said, I was balancing the design work and the Wordsworth work. And Wordsworth, it was, I think, our smallest event. It had the least number of participants because it was a slam poetry event. And but it required the most amount of work, I feel, because we had an external judge, and the paperwork that came along with that was a lot,
Yeah.
and the instructions weren't very clear.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure what to do, because they will send two kinds of forms: Google Forms and hard copies.
Yeah.
So they will give you clear instructions of the Google Forms, but then hard copies, you don't know what to
Kind of
do.
like figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. And then you go to them, and then they're like, change this. Then you go back, you come back, change this again, and then it's just you go around in circles trying to fill the forms. Yeah, but towards the end, at one point we missed deadlines, and they said you cannot have the judge anymore. And
I remember
This
that.
is Riviera in a
I
nutshell.
remember that.
Riviera
Yeah.
in a nutshell was like everything is constantly burning down. We're trying to build something back and put out all the fires.
Yeah, so I got a call saying, so you've missed too many deadlines, you can't have the judge anymore. So our second option, if we didn't have an external judge, was a faculty judge. And we didn't get a faculty judge. We were trying to get the external judge for both the rounds.
Yeah.
Because we had 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So we basically had no judge at all. And then I panicked and went to CR. CR is the control room.
Yeah.
That's where all of this happens. And I went there, and everyone refused to talk to us. They were like, oh, this is step C. No, don't talk to them. And we had to talk to DSW.
Yeah, so DSW is a director of student welfare, and they're kind of in charge of like everything student related. So a lot of club work has to do with them, and they are notoriously difficult to deal with.
And
I would say that.
remember shouting, like literally shouting, ki you cannot do this, and you're basically gaslighting us to burn our event.
Yeah.
And then, somehow
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
did work
That
out.
one night we had our in time at 8:30.
Mhm.
Till like 8:25, we were literally running around behind people to get their signatures, and we got it done.
Yeah, that day was, oh my god.
Terrible.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, so I got a call asking about our event in the morning, and I went and I got whatever sorted. And then I'm seeing like everybody like around, and they have like these hard documents, okay, hard copies. And turns out the day prior we got a message around 6:30 saying we need to get these hard copies. I was working out that day, so at this time I was working for quite a long time, and then so I kind of like have like a 2-hour workout, and like I bathe, eat, and sleep. So I'm like, okay, I'll take today off. Taking today off. Yeah, I was taking 1 or 2 days off because the whole club was like, you need to take time off. You're too tired.
Yeah.
So then I get up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'm getting a call. I go to the control room after like getting ready or whatever, and I'm like, what are these documents? Like, what? I thought we submitted everything through Google Forms, digital documents. And then I speak to another friend of ours, and he's like, yo, you need to get all these documents. And I'm like, oh.
And we did not have our faculty coordinator
Yeah.
here, so we literally had to somehow get digitalized signatures
Yeah.
and then cut, copy it, like a lot of drama.
So I'm sending a message, guys, we need to get all these documents sorted. And then so everybody has classes. I was the only one. I'm like, I think the only 9-pointer. So I have freedom of like moving around when I want. But I'm like, dude, like, what do I do now? Because I had to go and had do a meeting and do some mails in my room with like the HP people, the sponsors. So I'm like, okay, what do we do now? So then I send a message and everybody's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? So then I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we start getting the documents ready. We're constantly requesting for deadline pushes. So then we're getting the more and more pushes, and like over few hours we get the documents ready. And the final nail in the coffin was like our faculty coordinator was not there on campus. So then we had to get a digital signature ready, and so we had to kind of like Photoshop the documents, like put the digital signature. So like me, Shriya, and I think Shatakshi, right? Yeah, we were sitting outside
Yeah.
and
I
getting
think
documents ready.
You were editing it,
Yeah.
I was sending it, she was getting
Yeah.
it printed.
And I think CR actually became my home for like a week, because I remember going there every day and spending so much time here.
In a good way? Or?
In a bad
In a
way,
terrible way.
obviously. Do you want to talk about how we were thinking of cancelling it?
Okay, so
Yeah.
every time this happened, the Riviera committee was like, yeah, we're canceling your event. So then I was like, hold on a minute, what's going on? Why are you canceling an event? I'm like, no, you didn't give these documents, that documents. I'm like, you sent us a message like yesterday. Like, what are we supposed to do? So we were like among the last 5 clubs that didn't give us that give the documents. But thank God that we were able to. I was there. I spoke to him like, please wait for some time. We kept telling him, wait.
And I remember going there and just talking to the person, and the next day he saw me, he's like, are you okay today, or do I need to bring you water? And that was just so embarrassing, losing cool in front of an organizer, and then the organizer recognizing you with that, are you alive, are you not dead, right? And I mean,
so then we submit documents like the event documents. So then other than that, we had a lot of documents since we have a guest on Burswood. Like, can you talk about that a little bit, like that day in particular when I was not there and something happened with another board member, Aishani, and she was like not feeling so great about it because they said they might cancel everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was not there, so I want to talk about that day just a little bit if you want.
Yeah. So that night, that was the night I was talking about when I got a call that saying that the judge was cancelled, and we all rushed there. Me, the other coordinator, and another Aparajita, another board member. Everyone just refused to talk to us, and we had like 3-4 signatures to get, and we couldn't find anybody. We had half an hour left for our in time, and we had to interrupt their dinners to get their signature, and it was just messy.
Yeah.
And the documents were with me, and I was in F block,
Yeah.
and I had just gone back to room. And they called me up and they're like, we need the documents. And I was like dead tired because like the entire first half of the day I was like at the CR with Shriya and Pratik. I was there the entire time. I had just gone to the room and they called me that we need the documents now. And by the time I'd already known that Shriya called and told me that the judge is cancelled. And I literally panicked so bad. I was like, okay, what do we do now? And then we were like, okay, do we think of this as a good thing or a bad thing? We were like trying to figure stuff out, and then they called me and they're like, documents chahiye, come fast. And I'm like, okay, I'm running all the way from F block to CR, which is like in front of the backside of MV,
like 1.5 kilometers.
Yeah, I like, bro, I cannot run. How do I come fast? And then they kept calling and calling, and I was like, oh, coming. And then
you weren't coming. I started crying. Shatakshi, please come.
Yeah. It was an absolute mess. People were crying left and center.
Yeah,
I was here. I want to cry.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was so pissed because they were not giving us the right things.
Yeah.
And like they expected everything from us, and like when that that turn came for the deliverables, nothing was there, and that just pissed me off.
So I remember this day, like I wasn't there, but I come out of the gym, I'm like drenched, I'm like not in any shape, I look like a mess, and I get a call from I think you saying like you need to talk to these people, like they are not listening to us. Okay, so I feel like I've kind of become the de facto negotiating with these people because I don't know, maybe I weighed my words or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, I'm in no shape to show up because, I can come and talk. It'll be like, take me 10 minutes, I'll run all the way there and talk. But they look at me like this, like shorts, sleeveless shirts, drenched in sweat, looks like a mess, clearly went to the gym or exercising. They're like, we're not listening to you.
Yeah.
And this is like around academic blocks, and they have rules of like, you need to have the proper like dress to like come. So I'm just like, oh god, what do? I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I cannot do anything. Because if I go and change and come back, it will take like 20 minutes. And by then it was almost in time for these people. Because it was already like 7:50 or something at this point.
8:25. We have our end time at 8:30,
Yeah.
and we literally all 4 of us were girls, and like these people live in G blocks. It was still closer, and I was in F block, so I needed to run if I did not want to play 100 rupees. So.
It was intense and then this was like pre-Riviera, and then we got the events were hard to do. I remember it was like we get up at like as early as possible, we come and set up the things. We had to remove, because we had all the events in classrooms, so we had to remove all the stuff outside, set it all up, and then we're getting all the registrations and people are starting to come in. And then that's when we realized like, wow, this is going to take a long time, and then we have another 4 days of this.
The thing was, with Escape the Killer, we had events on both the days. Like on the first day of Escape the Killer, we had Burst Ball, and then on the second day of Escape the Killer, we had, Game On. So like both the days were occupied, and I was like, okay, how are we going to do that? Because when you think about preparation, all Escape the Killer needed was not a lot of paperwork. Yeah, though I was getting calls from everybody all the time for other events. I don't know how they got that wrong. But yeah, I did not have a lot of per se paperwork to do. But the craft and everything took time, but that was still managed by you guys, like the design team, and we got it done. But I think Escape the Killer was more exhausting on the days where you had to literally, work to decorate the room, and like we did not get proper rooms. The rooms we got were wrong. You could not remove. I mean, there was so much chaos. I had to get the rooms changed. I had to talk to the organizer to switch the rooms because the tables were not coming out of the room, and then we had to decorate the whole thing. And Shriya was not there, and that, I mean, like I was literally like, how I'm gonna decorate it if Shriya is not there? But then we somehow did something, and like a lot of our props we did not put it out because we did not remember at that point, because everybody, the organizers and the event volunteers and coordinators were like, start the event, you don't have time and everything. And yeah, and my WhatsApp got blocked. That
Oh my god.
I spent Riviera without WhatsApp. Do you guys want to talk about that?
So like Shatakshi is the PR head. So a lot of what she has to do is on WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp and Instagram. I talked to people on Telegram because of that.
Yeah. So then I still remember so I was acting as a POC for our sponsor, and they had a stall and our sponsor. So I was like, so then when I realized on the first day that somebody told me like, no, we're supposed to be allocating you them a POC. So I'm like, why haven't you done that?
Yeah.
Why am I still acting as a POC? So I go, and so when they're supposed to come in, they're supposed to get like these slips to come in, then the stall slips, and I see on the paper where their names are supposed to be, their names are wrong. It's supposed to be Infinity Computers. They put something in Infinity Labs, and then so I'm like, okay, that's wrong. So then they're like POC and blank. So I was like, what? So then I'm telling them, no, I'm acting as a POC, and they weren't able to do that. So I'm like, okay, I'm acting as a POC. So I'm like running around the whole day getting all this sorted because they weren't able to give us the things we wanted. We asked them for like particular things well before, and they still weren't able to deliver on that. So then I was able to get that sorted on the second day. Then we had to get like a bunch of posters, like big posters to like advertise the company, of course. So then I had to go outside for that. So over the 4 days, I was doing morning, evening, and whatever, evening, the events, helping out with Escape the Killer. Burso, they were able to do. I was not really there for Burso, but for Escape the Killer and this, I was helping out. And for Game On, of course, because I'm the event coordinator. And I was also the host for the first round. So I was doing that. I was acting as the POC for these people. So I would come back at like 5 o'clock, everything was wrap up. I would come back, I would eat dinner, and I would want to faint. I'd be like looking around and I'd be like hallucinating, like what's going on? Because I need to still message people and tell them what they have to do for Game On, because I was kind of like the main coordinator. So I was telling like people, the volunteers, what they have to do, what they have to get sorted, what we have to do, what the timeline for everything. So I'm texting like another board member, Aparajita, and she's like texting me, and I'm like, oh dude, I'm gonna faint. Like I'm like looking around, like in my room, just sitting there, and like my head goes like that. And I was like, oh, I'm like really tired. So I think I fell asleep at like 11, 12, and then I had to wake up at 6. See, meanwhile, these people went to the concert and they're like, oh, having the greatest time.
Great time.
I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I need to get this sorted, I need to get that sorted. And then I was still talking to the sponsors, so I was like, it was a nightmare. And the only time I was actually able to like get off was like we finished Escape the Killer in the morning of the last day.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll take a little bit of time off.
Yes.
And I was like, I went and bought some things, had some nice food, and I was like, okay, that's good.
The thing is, for Escape the Killer, we had so much participants, and we needed to tell them
Yeah.
to come off because people did not know what time to come off, because it was like a 15 minutes thing. People go there and come out. And for that, we needed a WhatsApp group. And when I made the WhatsApp group, there were like 250 people in the group, and I ordered all of them through the bot. So like Jatin taught me how to use the bot and everything, and I added them. And then WhatsApp blocked me. I am still not over it. I will never be over WhatsApp blocking me. I was not able to send any videos to my mom, and I could not video call my mom. That was like, oh god, Riviera was epic.
Like on one side, one of the best moments in my life was getting that sponsor sorted and seeing that stall. Be like, I actually did Pepsi proud.
Yeah.
And then one of the worst times was like the week after, and I'm like, dude, I'm so burnt out. I couldn't tell left from right the whole past month. I've just been trying to recharge. All of that, oh my god, it was so intense.
And just 1 week later, we had Fats, and I
Cats.
fell.
Cats,
Cats. And I fell sick right after Riviera.
Oh my god.
3 days, I was bedridden, sneezing all the way, fever, and I was like, "What happened? Did I overwork or something?"
Yeah.
I
Oh my
was
god.
like-
We all kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could not stay awake in my class anymore, so I impulsively booked a ticket home and I just left.
As a board, my god, the amount of work we did.
We did, yeah. I'm actually very, very proud of ourselves that we pulled off the, first huge event, which
Yeah.
was Riviera,
Yeah.
and we couldn't afford to screw up. So yeah, I'm really, really proud.
And like
of
I
ourselves.
still like one for me personally post Rivera, like the first 1 month I was like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like I'm trying to do things, I'm just like not able to do. I'm like, what's going on? Why am I not able to do anything? And then things they were starting to move forward slowly. I was like, I need to catch up. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I need to get the podcast, this thing done, that thing done. And I was like, okay. And I started like just going crazy.
And the pre-Riviera was even more extensive, you
Yeah.
know. Remember the expos,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
expo that happened during
Oh
Cat
yeah,
1.
the two expos.
There were
yeah.
3
expos.
Oh,
expos.
3 expos.
Yeah, the first expo which happened in January, and then
Yeah.
again like 2 weeks later during the Cats, and then finally we had one more expo where they announced the artist and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, and all the 3 expos, I remember just pitching to people and like talking to so many people.
Oh
My
God.
voice used to get hoarse, like literally from the amount of talk I used to do with people, and just standing there for like from 4 to 8. It was like a huge thing, and we had to come 1 hour earlier. And because of that, I'm gonna get debarred in my lab because DSW hasn't given me the OD, and I am so done. Oh my god, like literally.
I didn't know about that last bit. Yeah, I think I came for the first expo because of the second expo I was like I remember I hadn't studied for the exams.
I
Like the
was
last
sick
week
in
I was
the second
studying.
expo.
I got sick also, so I was like, I need to study like properly during the exam. So I was like, write exam, come back, study full day, write another exam because we had consecutive exams. And I was like, dude, I just cannot come. But for the first expo, I was there for the whole time. And dude, I was like a pitching god. I was like pitching to as many people as I can, putting every trick out of the book, like do whatever I can. And Escape the Killer was the talk like of that
and like
genre.
Escape the Killer got sold out in like a day.
Yeah, it was like
Our stall was a hit. Like
Yeah.
the wanted poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was
Yeah,
taking pictures.
everybody was taking mugshot. I remember.
yeah,
Oh my
just
God.
tell about that the
Yes.
mugshot, yeah.
Yeah, so we had an idea for the stall for Escape the Killer since it was crime themed. We decided to do a mugshot themed photo shoot, and I think that was like our selling point.
Yeah, I think
Like everyone came and took pictures
I
there.
remember the amount of names I wrote on it. Like literally, my hand started aching at one point because I was writing
Mhm.
everybody's name and I was giving them phone, and then some people did not have anybody with them, so I was clicking pictures also simultaneously and
Yeah.
writing names, and then so many people crowded. It was like, I remember how many people I thrashed that day because of how ill-mannered people were.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I met good people too. So yeah, that idea was hit.
I feel like actually for the first thing we did, it's massively successful. We did our absolute best. We pulled out everything we could do, and it went really well. Like even though we fully burnt out,
Yeah.
we were all like, guys, Pepsi's going to break for a week. Like no messages,
Yes,
nothing.
nothing.
Pepsi's not
But
going to
we
anything.
We
did.
didn't.
And then we did it. It was like
We
2
started posting
It
again.
was like 2 days, and we were like, guys, let's start doing it again.
we had a meet.
yeah, we did, yeah. Oh man.
Shriya was there for all the 3 expos, right?
Yeah, I feel like Shriya and Aishani, like, you guys did all the reels and all the.
Yeah, it was.
You're like these people need breaks. Like
Yeah,
these people, they're not gonna
literally.
do anything for
Yeah,
us.
and Ashani went off
She
the
did.
grid. She
Yeah.
was
Good
off
for
the grid.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. Like she literally needed time to breathe.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like I feel like we definitely, as a board, completely came together. Like it's like you're put in such a tough situation. If you
Yeah.
don't, even if you don't know each other, you just become friends. You like start like
Yeah.
like
If you don't have an option.
Yeah.
You cannot not talk
Yeah.
and get the work done.
Yeah, because I feel like as a board mindset, failure is not an option.
Yeah.
We cannot
We
fail.
cannot. And
This
we
is-
were like hell bent on,
Yeah.
getting things done. We were like, okay, what if there is a one screw up on the way?
Yeah.
We'll get this done.
Like as a club, Pepsi's biggest weapon and biggest disadvantage is that we're a small club. So it makes us very tight knit. Like our community is super tight knit. We're very friendly. We know pretty much everybody in the club, and we get stuff done. But when there's a high volume of work, and when people are, because the club technically doesn't have people that are obligated to be there besides the board. Only the board is there sometimes. So it's like, okay, we need to get like these 500 things done, and maybe the last 10 things people can help it, and the rest we have to do all on our own.
And we're just 10 people.
Yeah. Still, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yes.
Yeah. And like post Riviera, like I feel like for me it's definitely been slow, but like now I'm like, picking up the work, and this podcast is gonna come super regular. Where I'm recording one today. I don't want to tell you what today is because so you don't know the timeline. And recording one tomorrow as well, and then post our final exams, which is coming on April 23rd. It ends for some of us. For me, it ends. Post that, hopefully, I say hopefully, it's gonna be every 2 weeks, maybe even every week. We're gonna be pushing our podcast very regularly, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, so the last few things I would say we want to talk about is kind of like, I think because we're so intense and we had such a like great love for the club, like we did a lot of work, and it just kind of like went like this, like we went super high, just tanked. It just went all the way down, and yeah, some of us were kind of like lost, right? Like you were like you felt like purposeless.
Yeah, so like I was working like since the very agitation part,
Yeah.
like since the very start, and then I was there throughout all the night slips and paperwork and everything. And once it got over, I was like, okay, I have nothing to do anymore.
Mhm.
What do I do in the spare time
Mhm.
now? No night slips, no, going to the CR. And there was nothing to do, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? And I was like, okay, let's catch up and study. But yeah, I did not end up doing that. But yeah, it felt like, okay, I did not have anything to do. We were so exhausted, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was literally, Riviera work was the only thing I did throughout February, and I was burnt out even before Riviera started. And I was like, 4 more days to go. How am I gonna do this? And yeah, like it ended, and I kind of miss it.
Yeah,
I miss it too.
like a part of me is so tired and doesn't want to go back to it, but a part of me got such a sick high where I'm like
Yeah.
getting so many things done, especially like I have to say again that getting a sponsor was insane. I still cannot believe that we did that, and we got that name, and we got the name of the posters, and they were there, and I met them, and they're like, we want to work with you, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like that's like when I definitely joined Pepsi, I feel like I had these insane ambitions, and I joined Pepsi kind of late. Like I joined it like towards the end of last year, like around Augustish, and these people have been there for quite a while, like
Yeah.
much longer time than me. Especially, both of you have been there, right?
Yeah.
So I joined like much later, and I was like, I did my best. I wasn't like aiming to be a board member. I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to do work for the club, and then coincidentally I got selected for the board because I gave the board interview, which coincidentally also I did for fun. I put the form. I said the form link came. I wasn't serious. So a board member said, "No, you do this. Send it." I put in funny answers and stuff like that. I was like, "Let's put the most ridiculous answers possible to make it like funny." And I gave a board interview, and that went well. And somehow I got selected. So then I was like, "Okay, the responsibility sits on me." And then I was like, "Oh my god, we have to get everything done. Oh, this is what it means to be a board member." And then we got it all done. And post Riviera, I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
done. I do not have any energy. And so the podcast definitely has been on standby for a little bit. But for sure, after April, episodes are just gonna be coming like forward for sure, like consecutively. Yeah, that's about wraps up like what happened during Riviera. A big shout out for the rest of the board, who aren't here, especially.
Yes.
I mean, not especially everybody for sure.
Everybody
Yeah.
worked like equally
If I had to
hard.
name them, hopefully I don't forget anybody. Aishani, who's the media head and the virtual coordinator. Swati, who came actually to take photos for us, and she's our vice chairperson, and she also worked with
For
Escape the Killer. Aparajita, who was generally with everybody but also worked heavily on Game On. Then
She's there,
Jatin,
she's
who's the tech head, who's a god, a whiz with tech. He's sitting right there,
Yeah.
helping us out with it. Then Leela, who worked on Game On with me and was also there for everything. And mind you guys, he's a third year. He had all his project reviews and everything going on, and he still came and worked on it. Did I miss anybody else?
Yeah, Manaswini and
Manaswini. Oh yeah, the most important people. Yes,
Mhm.
Manaswini, who is a co-secretary. She's part of the executive board. She worked on organizing all the volunteers and getting
Yeah.
Escape the Killers organization done. And
Devotees
Niru,
and the night sweats.
yeah, and Niranjana Naveen, chairperson, kind of kept everything
calm.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if everybody's burned, like if nobody was there, Niranjana was there. She was
Yeah.
sick the most of the time, and she was still like, no, I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And all the juniors who worked for us,
Yes.
like all the juniors who worked with me as well, I feel like they
True.
like me a lot. And
No, they do not like you, Pratik.
They
They
love
just
me.
pretend to like you. But yeah, to everybody who worked
Yeah.
too, and the advisory board who was like that
Yeah,
throughout,
true.
especially the advisory board.
I think that was the most important part to me, especially. I wanted to make the advisory board like proud. Like, yeah, it made sense to select these people,
Same.
and even though they put into the fire, they were still able to like do the job
Do the
properly,
job, yeah.
and like, even very well. If I had to
Yes.
say, yeah. I think that's about wraps up everything. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. Signing out.
Having us.
Thank you for having us, Pratik.
Bye bye.
Bye.